So I've had a pretty busy week installing a few Megalive transducers, and I wanted to share with you guys some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. May help you whether you're going to do it yourself, which is very easy to do, or have a dealer install. One thing for you guys that are running the external transducers, I found that if you route this cable along here, you're going to want to route it between the split of the Megalive cable, just so it makes management doesn't twist up and get in the way. I've been talking about these clamps. They're made by this company, Hawken Components. It's pretty cheap. They have a discount code for the fishing community. It's Fishing 2021. I'll share a link to them. But they're kind of nice because it just secures your transducer cables without putting zip tie pressure. You can see the zip tie goes, try to get that angle. Yeah, see the zip tie goes underneath it. And these are flexible, they stretch. Makes managing your cables quite well. I highly encourage those over those clamp styles that you see. They're like 60 bucks. You snap them on, but your cable's loose. You don't want to do that. One key area you are going to want to be concerned with is right here, where the trolling motor shaft stabilizer rests. You don't want to run the cable in that channel right there, because if this rubs up against that, and I've seen it with Live Scope and other transducer cables, over time this trolling motor shaking back and forth is going to damage it, and with the cost of these transducers, that's not going to be something that's covered under warranty. So just keep that in mind. If you're running a 360, you want to pay attention. I wouldn't necessarily, maybe secure it down with tape at first and then try to figure out what works best for your setup. This is on a 45-inch shaft, and so I found going flush to the bottom right here, hinge on the outside, again mounted on the starboard side, works well. And then you just want to make sure you have this gap right here. I busted my finger. But anyways, just want to have this gap right here so your cables don't get in the way with your 360. And the way I found the easiest way to figure out what length you need is just install it in the down view. And then just route your cables, just do a little circle. And that way if you put it in forward mode or landscape mode, which is easy to do, and then you just pop it open and you've got plenty of space. It's not going to hit it. I don't really use landscape mode. Since I've got Mega 360, I kind of favor the down and forward view. Another thing that I kind of liked, after I've figured out my height and my spaces and all that stuff on the water, and then do my final mounting, I put a little line on here. I don't know if you can see it right there. Just one of them little permanent markers. So that way when I pull the trolling motor out the water and everything's wet, it's just easy for me to kind of quickly glance down there, put it in forward view if I'm coming at a landscape or down view. You don't necessarily need it. I just kind of found that beneficial. The other thing when you're doing your adjustments, trying to figure out your height with the Mega 360 and Megalive combo, once you get it set down there, I put a little piece of tape here so I knew that this was the lowest I would put the 360. And then if I lifted this up a little bit, then I know that, I can just adjust that right there. I didn't have to cut the pole or anything like that. The guys with the longer shafts probably not going to run into any concerns there, but it worked out just fine. And for me, the clearance here, you can see there's the sonar signal right there. And so it clears the motor just fine. I have no issues for down or forward view for that matter. The other thing is, right here, there's again more ways to skin a cat, but this is the way I did it. I route the cables around this way, and I bring the 360 cable down and I kind of tape them together for a Y. I'm going to come up with a little clamp, and I tape them to this stabilizer arm on the Ultrex. And the reason why is because I want to avoid this pinch point right here. right there, because that's the culprit that cuts all your transducer cables. So I don't want it, I want to make sure these cables are all secure and away from there. So again, there's more than one ways to route it, but that's the number one spot that you want to avoid. The second reason why I do this is there's a motor in here for steering, and I try to keep my cables away from this motor as much as possible, just to help eliminate interference issues. Oh yeah, another quick little tip for those of you guys that have this little thing pop out, to help avoid that from pulling your trolling motor up and down, just route your cable through that second coil, and that'll help that from happening. Again, right here, this spot, I put tape on both sides just for another, I probably didn't need to, but just for added protection. Most critical spot on here is this. I don't recommend ever using a 360 stabilizer, because then you're going to have loose cables and other issues. Plus, it's not designed to do that. But you can see you still got plenty of flex. Running to a dock or something might end up saving you. So hopefully you guys find that beneficial. If you got any questions, by all means, post it in the comments below. I'll do the best I can to answer them and get you more information as we press forward. Thanks.